Welcome to the Sengoku Studies Channel. Thank you for joining me for this month's episode about some of the more obscure weapons in Japanese history. This video is part of a series with other YouTubers. Any videos for this month will be linked in the description. Also, their channel links will be in the description, so please go and check them out. The Yoroi Dōshi is a small close-quarters weapon, could be classified as a type of dagger. In English, it is usually translated as armor piercer. The first part, Yoroi, is for armor. The second part, Dōshi, comes from a verb that has a number of meanings depending on the context, but here it means to penetrate or go through, although its use is not always this literal. The specifics of the blade geometry could vary, but typically the blade had a greater thickness than other dagger-type blades. It was also common there would be blades that had less of a width from the spine to the cutting edge. Sometimes either of these kinds of sword-type blades taper towards the tip. In addition to these sword-shaped blades, there were also Yoroi Dōshi with blades shaped like a yari head. Sometimes these were actually former yari heads that had been refitted into dagger koshiare. Other times, they were intended from the start to be used as Yoroi Dōshi. As said before, this was a close-quarters weapon. Its intent was to be used as a weapon when grappling in armor, an activity that goes by a number of terms, one common one being Yoroi Komiuchi. These were grappling systems meant to kill the enemy, often to create openings or opportunities to use small-bladed weapons such as the Yoroi Dōshi. Although this is what the weapon was meant for, naturally it was not the only way it could be used. It could be worn in normal clothing, just like any other kind of a tanto or other types of daggers. There were a number of close-quarter weapons that could be used for Yoroi Komiuchi. Until the late part of the 16th century, armor made of smaller plates laced together was still fairly common, even among high-ranking samurai. The Yoroi Dōshi, with a less wide blade, could slip into gaps, possibly even between the plates of the armor. But it was not only Yoroi Dōshi or only Yoroi Dōshi with the less wide blades that could do this. A number of small weapons would be used in the same way of slipping into the gaps. The extra thickness of the blade could be used to force plates apart as the blade was pushed into the enemy. In addition, it meant that it should hold up to more force and pressure, allowing a warrior to put more of their weight behind it. This leads to a debate about how much of a piercer the Yoroi Dōshi really was. When dealing with an opponent in armor, it was usually better to try to go around or in between the armor rather than try to literally go through it. When looking at schools that include armored grappling in the curriculum, regardless of what they call it, they teach the student to target the openings or gaps that were common in Japanese armor. This was just a quick and brief introduction to the Yoroi Dōshi. Hopefully you have found it informational. Thank you so much for taking your time to watch this video, and a special thank you to my Patreon member, Coulter Nebel. I hope to see you again in the next video. Hope you have a wonderful day or night wherever you are. Otsukare-sama deshita.